Right, so I'm making this video because I had a problem when I was working on the Blackmagic Cloud, and it was filling up, and then when I tried to clean it, that didn't work out that well. Like, I couldn't find out how to delete it. I can't find out like what's using the most space. It's a huge mess. And so this one's just scratching my own itch where I'm explaining like this is how I cleaned it up. Now, let me quickly show you what's the problem, right? I have like these projects in my cloud setup, and if you click on these, how do you delete? Like, you don't see like a delete option. And I know that if I click on this, there should be like this trash can here, but you're not showing it. So that made it really confusing working with this. And there's a couple of things here that I learned. One, the cloud storage from Blackmagic isn't the file storage, it's just the sync files for projects, but you'll still need some way to send the source files over, for example. Like if you're sending just the proxy files over, you have to send stuff back. So I'm not gonna treat this as a file storage anymore. I'm just gonna treat it as a simple syncing solution. Second one, the reason why you don't see the delete here is because they're still attached to active projects in your system. And that means that it stops you from deleting the files, which is super hard to grasp initially because you're like, hey, I just want to toss these things away. And what makes it even worse is that this doesn't even match up all the projects. I don't even have untitled projects in my current setup. Maybe one, but definitely not three. And whatever is happening here is because I probably copy my changelog template, but then it links back to this. So it's super confusing figuring out, okay, what matches what. And to fix that, what I'm going to do, and I'm going to explain now, is I'm going to move stuff out of the cloud that I'm no longer using in the project side, and then it will free up and we can remove it here. Okay, so to solve this, what you need to do is you need to get rid of the projects into your cloud, and then you'll be able to get rid of them here. And it's always a two-step process. Moving the project away doesn't remove it here. So if you don't do both, eventually you'll be stuck with a lot of cruft inside your storage. And like me, you'll be paying for like a larger set. I'm going to go and try and see if we can bring that down. And for this demo, I'm going to try and get rid of this one, the Wiki board. As you can see, I can click on it, but I can't delete it. I can go in there and like it doesn't show me like any way of removing it, even though the folder is empty. That is also one of the things that I found really confusing. Like, okay, what do I need to, where are these files then? You know, that it's still showing. So let's go back towards DaVinci Resolve, and I'm going to go find the ones that I have. So I have this one here, Wiki board, and I have this one. Both are probably using files from that set. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go select these two projects that I have here that are Wiki board related, and I'm going to go use this one on the top, the copy project 2, and then you get like this pop-up here, and it shows like, hey, it's just your project library, and this is the folder. Now I'm going to go move it to local, and I'm going to move it towards my archive, and in the archive I have one for Tools on Tech. I'm setting up a separate channel for this video. So Tools on Tech is my main channel where I do most of this stuff, but I didn't want to clutter that one up with DaVinci Resolve videos. Now, when you copy these projects over, you're not copying any files, you're just copying the project file. So as long as your files are local, then the local versions will run fine. So now if I go back to local here and I go to Tools on Tech, then you see these two are here. And Tools on Tech here is empty because what I have in my archive, eventually I export, and then I'll get rid of it permanently. But for now, when I'm just working, this is the quickest way. So let me focus back on removing that. So I do a right click and I pick delete. I say yes. Now it's removed from the cloud. And then with a bit of luck, if I go back towards my web interface for this, and I'll probably need to refresh, but we'll have a look-see first. So I'm clicking on the icon here. Nothing happens. Gonna do a quick refresh, see if that helps. And I click on it, and then you see that I suddenly get this icon. Now this is the thing that really annoyed me. Like, okay, so I need to clean it up first there. Then I need to go here, find the related thing and delete it. It's an absolute pain. If you want to do yourself a favor, then the one thing that I would highly recommend is to move any project you're no longer working on back to local and get rid of it here and just have like, I don't know how many projects you have up and running here. I think for most small creators like me, that will be like 3 or 4 maybe. And that makes it manageable. But do not keep this as an archive or storage, something that I did, because now cleaning it up is going to be a whole pain. Anyhow, I'm just going to hit the delete button. It goes, are you sure? Yes, I'm sure. And then the other issue that you see is the size. Size won't show up anything, and you can't be helped with this. This is another reason why don't use Blackmagic Cloud as any type of long-time storage. It's not built for it right now. You can't do any file sizes. I can't sync it. I can't run any analyzing tools over it to find out what's using up all my space. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go move all my projects out, maybe even the ones that are active, and just clean this thing out at full, and then hopefully I can downgrade again from the current 500 gigabyte version that I have to pay $15 a month to, I think the smallest tier is like 500, like half a gigabyte. And that's good enough for some of my projects because I'm just syncing proxies, and then I'll do the rest by my large set storage, for which I use something like Stack or Google Drive or whatever you want to use. I hope this helps someone because I was really stumped initially on like, how do I delete this stuff? So the lessons I learned from this is, first of all, I'm not treating Blackmagic Cloud Storage as cloud storage, because it doesn't work that way. I use it to sync the proxy files. I use it to sync small assets like images that are used or sound effects. And that it does wonderfully well. From working together with people, they can just drag stuff in and we can add it and get to the final composition. But for archival, long-term storage and getting all the source files over, I just use a separate cloud provider because there I can edit it, I can do file sizes, I can figure out what's taking up space and you know, clean it up over time so that I don't eventually at the end of my life have to pay for, I don't know, 50 terabytes of cloud storage somewhere. Keep it like limited, try to keep it on like only your active projects. After I'm done cleaning this, and that's going to take a while, I hope to be down to like, I don't know, 3 or 4 active projects that I'm actually working on with my editor together. And then it'll be fine. And as soon as you're done with that, use the archive option. So there's an archive option in Resolve that allows you to like copy all the files to a separate directory. And that's what I do now. I just archive it, make one directory that has all the media files and the project files in it, and get it out of Resolve and store it somewhere long term. That way, if anybody in my team needs it, they can just copy the whole archive file, load it into Resolve and start working. And I can clean that up later. So like if I'm down 5 years and I'm thinking like, okay, I'm never going to use this footage again because I learned more and this footage is terrible, I'll just keep the final render and I'll remove the rest because I'm not paying for storage for something I'm never using again. That's a hard choice. I know that there might be some people that go like, you never throw something away. It's a lot of files. So that's eventually I prefer to throw them away, but you know, you do you. Quick extra take. After removing all the projects that are no longer active on my side, I only had 2 active projects left. And even then, I still had like a whole bunch of pointless cruft inside my Blackmagic Cloud. The only way I could fix this was by copying those last 2 ones over to a local folder, removing the whole project, so the whole space, making like a new project space, and then adding those back by copying them back. It's not a lot of work. It takes me like 10 minutes and of course resyncing the proxies, but it's the only way to really fully clean it if it's gunked up like mine was. So if you can't clean, if you can't remove any other files, then that's your last resort. Be sure to inform anybody else using the same setup that, you know, it's going to be gone for a couple of minutes while you remove everything, and they'll have to resync everything after on their end. But yeah, clearly still in beta, it needs some work. Keep an eye on that. So like if you have like a lot of stuff left and it annoys you, then you know, at some point just copy the last 2 projects to a local set, remove, copy back. Thanks for watching. Stay awesome. See you in the next one.